Now we will discuss one of the routinely used unit operation called as pasteurization for certain foods such as milk. It is actually a mild heat treatment. It does not go above 100 degrees C, and it has got two different effects on low acid food or high acid food. The shelf life extension in case of low acid food is not very high. For example, milk, it is only a few days, whereas in case of acidic food, the shelf life can be extended for a longer time, such as several weeks. But in both examples, the pathogens are destroyed, and this is the main focus of all the pasteurization treatment, that they do not contain any pathogenic microorganism apparently that can cause disease. If we talk about the processes, there are two different types of processes or approaches which are used. One is called as LT-LT process, which stands for low temperature long time. As it's evident from the name, we are using lower temperature and for a longer time. For example, 63 degrees C is used for 30 minutes. So food is held at a temperature for a longer time. That would be bringing many undesirable changes. Maybe it's more costly as well, because it would spend much more time to process a batch than the other processes. That's why a newer approach has been adopted called as HTST, like high temperature short time, and there are different combinations of time temperature which are followed. The one normally used is 71.8 degrees C for 15 seconds in case of milk, or 88 degrees C for 1 second, and 94 degrees C for 0.1 second, and if you use 100 degrees C, it has to be used as 0.01 second. So they all bring about the similar effect on the food. The food gets pasteurized, but the time is reduced. The processing time is actually much more reduced in these new approaches. The food that are normally pasteurized, they include beer, liquid egg products, maybe mayonnaise, fruit juices, milk, etc. They all have to go the pasteurization temperature before releasing them into market. If we talk about this packaged food, pasteurization of these food, the food gets like beer and fruit juices, they have to be pasteurized and filled into container, and different heat treatment are used for different containers. For example, we use hot water for glass containers, because hot water treatment would not affect the glass breakage, or it would not be giving thermal shock to the glass material. Whereas the other metals and the plastic materials that are used as a container for pasteurization, or the food is packaged in these containers, they can be heated with steam or steam and air mixers, because there is no risk of thermal shock to these kind of materials. If we talk about the pasteurization of unpackaged food, we use swept surface heat exchangers, or they are open boiling pans. Basically, they are used at a smaller scale for heating up the food and bringing about all the desirable effects of pasteurization. We use low viscosity liquid, for example, milk, fruit juices, liquid eggs, beers, wines, and other products. We use plate heat exchanger because they are low viscosity material. They can easily flow within the tubes or plates, so plate heat exchangers are used. If we talk about what are plate heat exchangers, they have a series of thin plates. They are vertically attached to each other, very closely, well knitted, and there are alternate plates, one for the food that has to be pasteurized, another one is for the heating medium or cooling medium. Generally, steam or hot water is used for heating, and cold water is used for cooling. So they both move in the counter current fashion. For example, if the food is coming from the right direction, the heating medium or the cooling medium might come from the left direction or the opposite direction. So the food is pumped through these plates, and the heating medium is also pumped from the other plates, and they exchange the heat, and food gets pasteurized. Other than that, plate heat exchanger, there are other equipments available as well. One is called as concentric tube heat exchanger. This is suitable for the products which are more viscous. They are difficult to flow. For example, tomato ketchup, mayonnaise, baby foods, etc. So we cannot use plate heat exchanger. We have to use these concentric tube heat exchangers. They are concentric stainless steel tubes. They are in the form of a coil. They can be double or triple walled, and the principle is same. They are alternate layers of one for food, one for heating medium, one for the food, and the food gets pasteurized. Then this pasteurized foods has to be filled into the container immediately after they are heated, and then there are still chances of spoilage as well as other microbial growth in these food, because they are not completely they haven't deactivated all the pathogens. They are still existing there. So pasteurization food must be reheated before they are consumed, because they do contain pathogenic microorganisms as well as the spoilage microorganisms. There are minor changes that are also visible in pasteurized food. The pasteurization, they may change the sensory properties of food. There may be some of the changes in the pasteurization, pasteurized food shelf life as well. It might be from few days to few weeks, depending upon what is the product that we are talking about and what was the heating temperature and time. So this was all about pasteurization of food commodities.